Recording. Okay, guys, this is our second class for today. We are going to talk about the to-do app. So last time I explained, right? So there will be something called HTML form, right? Simple data to input, right? This one div to display the data. Then we're gonna have a CRUD operation, right? Basically, create, read, update functionality. Okay. MVC. We're gonna talk about MVC pattern, right? The model, view, controller, design pattern. Okay, all these things we're gonna talk. So this is a very simple app, but we'll try to talk, just understand all this concept in the simple app. We're gonna have a local storage, right? So okay, let's add here local storage. So remember, right? Let's say when you're gonna get some project, right, and you're gonna work on that, there will be some requirements, something like this. Okay, so basically when you write or when you start coding, you must try to touch each point, right, and cover that one. Your program must be included all that information, right? Basically all this functionality. Okay, that is what the requirements mean, right? So we will start from one. Let's create this HTML form. Simple, right? But before that, I'm gonna structure my basically add all my page, right? Index.html. Then I'm gonna have one JavaScript script.js. Okay, so in my index page here, right, I will not write any CSS. Okay, the goal here is to understand JavaScript only. Very simple, right? That is the goal. And this one project will be very simple way. I'm not going to include like so many things, right? We're going to do very simple way, but there will be everything you should master, right, to move to the next step. Okay, so let's call it to do app or things to do, right? Things to do. Okay, so now I'm going to connect our script page. So /, yeah. So what we will do, right, it's not gonna finish today. Okay, it's gonna take maybe, yeah, hopefully tomorrow will be done, right? Because we have 1 hour now and next 1 hour for tomorrow, right, or 2 hours for tomorrow. Okay, so 3 hours should be done. But the thing is, I'm gonna explain is piece by piece, very small, very like a very like a broad way, right? I will explain every piece of code. Okay, and see what happened, right? How we're going to build this. So if I have to test now, right, my JavaScript is working or not, I can just write here alert, right? Alert function, display something, right? So let's run this code now, index page, and see what happened. See, this working, display something, right? It just pop up. All right. So that means my script is connected. I can delete this. So let's create some simple input field, right? What I'm gonna have is if I go to the paintbrush here, I will have simple input. Okay, input here. I'm gonna write some text here, right? Then I'm gonna have some date here, date box to select the date, and then I'm gonna have the button to enter, right? Like a add to do. Okay, button here. So this is a text to do, right? Then here will be then here will be date, and then here will be button. Okay, button, right? That's it. Now there will be one line, just put the line here, and below that, right, I'm gonna have the div. So I'm gonna have a div here, right? Div, class, or just call it ID, right? ID to display to do. Okay, that's it. So that will be the simple structure, right? So input box, date, selection, and the button, and the display the to do list here, right? So let's create this one. Okay, see. So I have a input here, simple input, right? Input. Before that, I can add like a heading one, things to do, right? Things to do. Okay, and then I will create input text. This is gonna have a ID. Let's call this title, and then we're gonna have a what else? Value. Let's put not value, right? But placeholder. Okay. Enter things. Enter to do, right? Something, you know. Next will be the date, right? So input. The type will be date now, correct? And what else? Let's give ID, right? Of date. Okay, and then we're gonna have submit button, right? So you know, we can put input or maybe button itself, does not matter. Just let's input here. Type will be button, right? Button, and you have to add the value, name, right? Not value, but let's keep a name of button. Add to do, right? Okay, so let's check now, see how it looks. And then one thing more I said, right? We're gonna have line horizontal rule. Yeah, that will create a line separation, right? And then we're gonna have a div to add all our list, to display our list, right? So let's call ID display. Simple. This is very simple now, right? You guys know already. Okay, this is the input field, you know that very well, and this is the box to display things, and this is the horizontal line. Very simple. Okay, and now let's go back to our page and see how it looks. So yeah, so it looks something like that. So I messed up here, right, with this what do you call that, this button. So let's, what was that, input type button name, the value, right? I think value. Okay, not value, you know, what is that, add to do, right? Yeah, so that's the button. Okay, you can use like that, or you know, better you can do simple button right here also, button. Yeah, and just call it add to do, simple, and just keep the ID here, right? btn, so that we can select this button. So anyway is okay, you know, that's same thing. Okay, so we're gonna type something here, right? Let's go for walk, and then you select the date for today and add, right? You're gonna click add button. So when you click the add button, right, it should display something here. So it will display like this. You're gonna have a maybe div, let's say div, right? Then there will be the title, so that is let go for walk, right? Just what I typed there. Okay, and then you're gonna have a date, right? So 2023, today is what, 3, right? I don't know what month is this, February, March, I believe. Yeah, 22nd. See, that's it. It should be something like this. So you're gonna have many div like this, right? Okay, like that. So how we gonna design, right? You're gonna have a button here again, button, right? Delete. Then you're gonna have a button to update. Button to update, like that, right? So look at here, delete. When you click the delete, right, it should remove this one from here. When you click update, this, I just want to look at this part, right, and update, bring this text to this input field, make the change and add again, right? But there will be update button, not the add but update to do. Okay, so all that will be, but in this format it will be displaying. Just remember that. Clear? Now this is the dummy data, right? I mean, I added dummy, but this has to be happened through the JavaScript, all these things. So for now, okay, I will delete this too. Let's keep that one here for now, right? This one. So you guys, if you have any question, you can ask me, but yeah. So see, just imagine, right? I typed here something and I select the date and I put add button, or add to do. Just imagine, right? So this has to go and store somewhere. Okay, so now think about that, right? How we going to store data? So what I will do, right, I'll just create a variable called to do's equal to array, and here I'm going to put an object now, right, and I call it title equal to let's go for walk, right? Let go for walk. Okay, that's the title, correct? And then I'm gonna put a date, right, colon string, and I will say 2023, same thing, the one there, right, before 03 and 22nd. See, and then I need to give an ID also. Remember, when you storing the data, right, every object has to have a unique number, okay, ID. So let's call this one, something like that. String or number does not matter, right? One like that, it's okay. Or you just put one like this is okay. Number, fine, right? If you want to put string, is still okay. You want to add something, add a string, is fine. So let's keep one for now. So for now, I'm gonna make this 2-3 times, right? That is one set of object. This is my one data, right? So every time when I gonna put something here, select the date and add, right? When I click this, it should save inside here like this. But we don't have ID, right, in our field. We're gonna create that ID later. Okay, so I want to copy this, right, and make it maybe 2-3 times. Okay, let's put that. So comma, I don't need that. Go for shopping. Whatever, let's make this ID 2 and go for driving. I don't know what to do, right? So I just put whatever here and make this 3. Okay, so that's our 3 dummy data for now, right? Dummy data. See, that's our dummy data. Just imagine this data is coming from here. Just imagine, right? 3 dummy data. Okay, now the thing is, the first part we're going to start working, right? So we have our data, we saw the input field, right? The first part we're going to start is the view part. So MVC, right? MVC, model view controller. Remember last time I talked about that? MVC, right? So model view controller. So let's add the view here. View, right? View. So view is basically how you're gonna display something in the page, something like this. How you gonna do that? Correct? That's the point, right? How you gonna display something? And we have some data here. So can we write a function to display? This is a dummy data. We're gonna remove this later, but for now, how you gonna display, right? So I want to write a function, okay? Function, and call it maybe display or whatever, render, something like that, right? Render. And I'm going to run this function here, right? Okay. So this function is where inside, straight in our script globally, right? Global. When you run this globally, So whatever here should be always display, right? So what I want to display now, I want to display this title and date. And where? Inside this box, display div, inside here, right? See, I want to add something like this for now, right? So for now I'm going to delete this. I don't need, right? Let's do this first part. Okay, let's add this simple div like this. So can we do that? Okay, let's try now, right? Let's try. So inside this function, because I want to display this 3 item, right? What should I do now? This is a array. So what should I do now? I need to loop through this, get each element, right, from the array, correct? So let's do that one. So we're going to use map, to do's dot map, right? Map. And this map will take callback function, right? That's it. So each object is what? Each object is to do, right? See, one to do, okay, one, second to do, third to do. See, so that when you map through the array, right, the each element of the array will be passed in this parameter. So the first time I get, just imagine I get this first item, that is to do. So now I need to display that somehow, right? How? So I need one div. Let div equal to document dot create element, right? What are we going to create? Div. Remember last time how to create element? You know that, right? And then I'm going to put the text to this div, right? Div dot inner text equal to do dot title plus, make space, right? And to do dot date. See, simple. Okay, so I got this ready now. The div is ready, right? This div is ready. The div is the div. It when you create a div, right, it should be like this, right? Div like that, div, and then you added the text to this div. Okay, so you added this first one, let's go for walk, and this date, right, inside here, in this line. Okay, now is how we gonna put this to the index page. So for that, right, what should we do now? We need to call the display. We need to select this display. So let's do that. Anything else we have to do? No, right? For now is okay. So let display equal to, how you select that element? Document dot get element by ID, right? Get element by ID, and you call the display now. Display. See, so that's how you select the element display from here. That's the element display. I mean, we can console log and check now, right? Console log this display and see what happened. Okay. Control G, display. So let's check in the browser, inspect, and see the console log, and look at that. You display that, you call that display function display div 3 times. Okay, why? Because we have 3 items in our array, and it looped through 3 times, and you call that 3 times. See that? You call that 3 times. See? So basically now we're going to add something inside here, right? So let me go side by side, right and right. I hope that will help. So now what's going to happen, right? I will just do display. That is the div dot append, right? Appending the child. Okay. Append what? Div. See this div, whatever I create, right? I'm appending here now, and save this. And look at that. We got all that now, ready to go, right? So there is So I can delete now the other one, right? This data I don't need. Save. Okay, see what I add here. Okay, so look at that. I got 3 items in the page. See that? So simple, right? I mean, we just create the div element, the map, you know the map, right? This is a loop. You call the callback function. See, the callback function start here. This is the arrow function until here, right? Everything we write inside the callback function, because you know you're getting this to do inside the callback function only, right? Okay, so and then we display here. We just display. Okay, so display part is almost finished, right? I think, yeah, finished. All right, so next part is what? Let's write the controller, right? Controller. So controller is basically some logic to do something, right? I mean, here is also some simple things, but it is all about the display things. You know, you're getting elements, creating elements, and all that. But in controller, let's start some simple controller, right? Let's say function. Let's write a function, right? Add to do, okay, like that. So, and we're gonna keep our, this is our model, right? This is our data, okay? That's the model. So let's call this model for now, or data, right? Data, okay? So I can copy this here. So how now, right? How we gonna add something? How? So just imagine here, right? This when you click on this add to do, you're gonna type something and you select the date and you click on add to do. Okay, when you click this data has to go stored in our data in our array here. Okay, so the point here is how to access that value, right, from the title and date and all the ID and put here. Okay, but you're gonna click the button, right? Click the button. So now the first thing we're gonna learn is okay, let's put it here, no problem. So let button, right, btn, let's call it button, equal to, let's select the button first because we need to have access to the button. And when you click the button, we're going to add event listener. Okay, so what is event listener, right? Event listener is the basically the functionality in JavaScript, right? When some kind of event, like some kind of click or mouse over or something happen, right, there will be a function inside the callback function which will run. Okay, so let's check now, right? First we need to select the button. So document dot get element by id, right? id, and we have a id called btn, correct, in our button? Yes or no? Let's check. So the button, yeah, so this is the button. Okay, see here, button. So see, this display part is nice, right? We have done the work, is displaying already, things are working. Okay, that function is finished for now. So anything you want to display in the page, right, you just add in this part only here. So every function have a different job to do, right? So now we are in the adding the product, right? Adding the to do to our database. Okay, to our data here. Not, this is not database but our array, right, for now. So let's do that one. We have the button. So what I said, when you have button, right, you can attach the event listener. So how you can do that? So you just call the button. Now you have the button, right? This is the button, correct? Dot add event listener. See, this is the function, right? Like that. And this function will take the event now. So in my case, I will add the click. I want to click the button and then call the function, callback function. So what function I want to run? This add to do function. So add to do. That's it. See, this you just call back, callback function. Remember callback? To add event listener has a click event and you call the function. So we're gonna, all this event listener, right, and how it work in memory, we're gonna talk in another class. But for now, just remember, there is a button. You attach this event listener function to this button, and you're gonna click. So all the event listener, right, mostly you're gonna do the same way here. You're gonna have some kind of event and then call the function. So let's check, right, if this function is working or not. So I will just console log button click to add the title product, right, or something. Okay, to add. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So save this, right. Now I'm gonna click the button here, and we have a console log, right. So look at this. So when I click this button, you're gonna see something here. The console log at this function has to run, right? This has to run. So let's click. See, button to add. See that? Because we just console log. See, this console log printed button to add. So this working already. Because I click the button and it just, the function runs. See, good. So now, right, just tell me, okay, if any question, anything, right, I will explain again. But we have to do this many times, so maybe 2-3 times. Next tomorrow, day after tomorrow, this will be the homework. After class, you guys can practice. But this project 100% you should be able to do it, okay? Understand each line of code, right? So yeah, so that means our function is working. Okay, now what I need to do, right, I click the button. I want to get the information from here, whatever I type here, right? When I type something, I want to get that text and this date first. So let's do that. So let title, right, equal to document dot get element by ID, and that is the title box. That input is the title, first one. Yeah, I have the title ID right here. See that title? Okay, and there is something called value, right? There is, all input has a value attribute. Okay, so if I put some value here, right, something, so it will display now. See that display, right, in the page. So let's say running, right, running. Save this. See, running is there. See that? That is the value attribute. Okay, so whatever we type here, right, in the input field, that is a value. So I don't have to do this here right now, but remember there is something called value attribute. Okay, so how are we going to use that in our script? So I have that input, right, and I'm going to type something here. So I want that value. So what I will do now, I will just call dot value. So now from this input, I'm reading the value and stored in the variable title. The same thing I'm going to do for the date, right? So date equal to document dot get element by ID, and you pass the date here. Date, okay? Same thing, you select the date input field and you get the value from there. Done, right? Okay. So let's console log these two things, right? Console log console.log title comma date and see what we're getting, right? So I'm gonna type go for walk or running, right? Running, and I'll select the date here and add, right? Add. See, I'm getting that okay, that is spelling mistake, but see that I'm getting that information already. See that in here, right, in the title and date. Okay, but I need ID also, right? So let ID equal to, how am I gonna create ID? So there is a way, right? I mean, I'm going to use this. I'll show you now. So okay, so in here, right, see, you have a new date. Okay, if I just put new date, right, I'm gonna get the date like this, correct? I'm getting this date, but I can get the second also, time, right? And I will use that time as my ID. Okay, dot get full time, or what is that, get time. Okay, get time function, and see I'm getting something like this. Okay, so I will make this my ID, and it will change every time, right? I mean, every millisecond it's changing. Okay, so every time when you add the new item, right, you're gonna get the different date, basically different time. So that the ID should be unique, right? So we're gonna use this technique to create ID for now. So let's do that one. ID, no, I don't want that. So ID equal to new and date object, I call the date dot get time. That's it, my ID is ready. Okay, so I should put ID here and see what we're getting back, right? So let's put here swimming, and I will put the date and add, and see we get swimming, date, and ID together. Okay, I got all my data. So what should I do now? So I will call this array now, array right here. So when I click the button, what's gonna happen? When I click the button, right, I should be getting all these three things ready for me, and I can do here to-dos, right? This array dot push, simple push, right? And then I'm gonna push the object, because remember, this is how we adding the data, right, as an object, because I have a title, right? Title colon, that's the property name, title, right? And I can add the value also. This is the value, title. So remember, when you have the name, right, the property or key and the value same name in ES6 destructuring, right, you can just put title here, is okay. Okay, and date is also okay, and ID is also okay. Clear? So now this will be ready, and it will push these things to the to-dos array. And what's gonna happen, right? You want to display now. So how are we gonna display? Okay, let's run this and see what happened. So I'm gonna call this, right? Let's call that console log to-dos. Okay, let's call this to-dos, because we want to see if this is added or not, right? Okay, so let's call that and try to understand. I will make this little big. So swimming, and then I'm going to select this date and click add. So look at that. Now in my to-dos, I have 4 items: swimming, date, and ID. See that? See that? See that? Guys, see? Okay, so I got the data now, right, inside my array. So how I gonna display here now? Can you guess how? So I will just call the function render here. See? Now, right, every time when I'm gonna add something, so let's add again, right? Swimming, and I put here and add. See, it displaying now. Swimming is here. Okay, so it displaying now everything in the array, right? It is adding everything from the array again. Okay, so how am I gonna fix now all that problem? How I'm gonna fix? So I must go back here, right, in my render function, and before I start adding a loop, right, I want to clean my DOM. Okay, my DOM is what here in the element, right? If you go to the body, in the display, see this DOM, I want to make all these things empty here. Okay, and then add the new value, right? So before mapping, I will select the display. So what I will do, right, document dot get element by ID display. Okay, display, I select that div, right, and I say dot inner HTML. So all the HTML inside, all the element, make it empty. That's it. That is one line of code and gonna do the job, right? So all the things inside here will be empty. See, so now I have 3 only, right, in the beginning, because remember right now whatever I add, right, will be refreshed out because I don't have a permanent storage. Okay, it is just in the memory of when page refresh will be deleted. So just remember that. So let's add swimming and change the date and add. See, so we added now swimming, so keep adding, right, swimming again and again. See, it's just adding the data now. See that, keep adding, right? So when I refresh, it will be all gone because I only have 3 data in my array here, the permanently, right, permanent data here. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, right, okay, I think what I want you guys to do is just practice up to here, or unless we can do one more thing, right, local storage, but let's skip that one. Let me think. So we work with the add to do, we work with the display. Okay, we can add, okay, let's do one more function, right, delete part. Okay, and then I will give you the work to do now. The function, so how we gonna delete, right? So to delete something, I need to add a button here, delete. Okay, so that is a render, right, render. So that in here I'm just adding this div, right, but inside this div I need to put the button also. So let's do that one. So let btn delete, right, or maybe delete button. Okay, equal to document dot create element. Okay, I want to create one element, and that is a button, right, button. Okay, and inside this button, right, I'm gonna add the delete text. So delete button dot inner text, right, equal to delete. Okay, and now, right, how I know which one I'm deleting, right, how I know which one I'm deleting? So I need to see, I'm right now inside the first to do. Okay, I have an ID also right here, so I can attach the ID to figure out later on which button I'm deleting. So delete button dot ID equal to what? To do ID, because we are just getting the ID from this to do, because this is a loop, right? I have this to do object, I'm adding the text, now I put the ID also to here. Every time for the loop, it's gonna run all this callback will run for every object. Okay, so remember that. I attach the ID also, right? What else I can do now? So I have this. Okay, I want to add some style also. Let's do that one. Delete button dot style, right? Style equal to let's put margin bottom, right? Margin margin left, maybe 12 pixel, semicolon, and margin bottom, so will be maybe 12 pixels, something like that is okay. Okay, now, right, so this is ready. This button is ready, right? It has the delete text, it has the ID, I put some style. So what should I do now? I need to append, this is a element, button is what, element. I need to put this inside the div now, this div. Okay, so how I can do that? I call this div right here, div dot append child. Okay, append child, or just append here, and that will be delete button, right? Okay, and now just look at, guys, see, so there is a delete button for each of them. See that? You can also put a cursor pointer here, right? Cursor pointer. Okay, but see, you getting that delete button, you want to click that. When you click, right, you want to run the function. Okay, so I want to attach the function also here. So delete button dot on click, right? Where is on click? Here. And there will be function. Okay, the function name is delete to do. So right now we don't have function, right? So let's create that one. Okay, here. So function delete to do, right? And that's it. So remember, now we are dealing with the event, right? In JavaScript, when there is an event or button click or something, right? And we have to read some value like ID. We have to find which button is clicked. So there is a ID also attached, right? So how are you going to get that ID of the button? So there is something called event object. So you can, and that is passed to the parameter right here. Okay. So if I console log event now, right? Console.log event EE, you can call event or whatever, right? This event E, this is just a variable name, but this is the object which is given by JavaScript with all the information about the delete button. Okay, let's do that. Go to the console, right? And click this delete. Look at that. I get this event object, okay? And if I expand here, right? I have all this property, but I need to find the ID. So that ID is inside this target property, right? Target, and inside there is a ID property. So ID should be somewhere here. Where is that? Let's say ID, right? See, that is the ID one. Look at that. So that is ID one. See that? We're getting ID one. Okay. So now, right, we got the ID. So how are we going to read that? In the delete, we can do let delete ID, right? ID equal to event dot target dot ID, because in the event there is a property called target. Inside the target there is a ID. So remember how in the object, right, we can read from variable of the object dot the property name. Remember that? So exact same thing is happening here. Okay, so now, right, we got the ID, but how are we going to delete from here now? How are we going to delete something from here? When you click the button, right, you want to delete, correct? So now we have to do the so we are removing something. Okay, remember the filter, when you can remove, right, something based on true and false in the filter. Okay, so I did not explain true and false in filter earlier because we were just returning true and false when you do that odd and even, right? So let's do that one. To do's, right, dot filter. Okay, and this will take a callback function now. So we're gonna have each to do, and let's return here, right? So to do dot ID not equal to, okay, not equal to delete ID. So to do ID not equal to delete ID. So all the to do ID, right, which is not equal to delete ID, so that is true. But when it will find the delete ID, right, delete ID is equal to ID, and that will be true, but we're making false. So the false will be removed, so that delete ID will be removed. This whole object will be not added to the new array. Okay, so we just have to save now, right? To do is equal to this. So this, we are just replacing the new data now to this variable here, to this variable. Okay, by deleting one of them, right? All right, now once we have done that, right, so let's click right now. If you click, nothing gonna happen because we are not displaying anything. Okay, but we have to call the render function to display, right, to display the new data. So render, render, right? Okay, now try. Did it work? Why is that? So okay, so you have the to do ID, that is why is that? Okay. So something to do with maybe the ID not matching, right? So let's console log this ID and check this ID right here. So I want to console log delete ID, and also here, right? So let's put a bracket. Console dot log to do dot ID, because ID has to match. Okay, I don't know if that is a string or number. Let's check. So if I click here, right? Oop, everything is gone. Why? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so what happened, guys? Something went wrong, right? Just give me a second, okay? I hope you guys can see me still. Yeah, everything is okay. So let me check one more time. So when you click this, everything is deleted, right? So to do's, so return, right? We have to return this ID, to do ID dot not equal to delete ID, right? So that is okay. I just put to return here. Save F5. Oh, yeah, so we're getting that, but it's not deleting. So why is that? So let's do one thing again. What I will do, right? ID. So where is that ID? Okay, let me console log this to do. Console log to do, right? Console.log to do. So when I click this, right? So I'm getting that number. That is a number, okay? ID is a number, and this is also a number, right? So why is not matching? There is something to do with this ID, right? Because it should let's say function delete to do. On click, this will run, right? This function will run. Okay, let's try one thing, right? I'm gonna convert this to the string for now. Okay, let's do that one. Let's make this ID string. Okay, and then let's see. It should work, you know. I don't know, something is not this ID maybe not matching. Okay, that's the only thing, right? So how am I gonna figure out? Let me see. Console log event, what I'm getting inside the event, right? But that gives me the number only, you know. So if I click this, there is an event, and inside the target there will be ID. Where is the ID? Here. This is string. So okay, so this is added as a string, right? Okay, so that number is a string, and what I'm reading from the array is a number, right? So okay, so I'm just gonna convert this. Okay, fine. I'll just make this put inside the number. Okay, whatever I get, right, I'll just convert that to the number. Yeah, I believe that should be fine now. So let's not change this. No need to make a string now. And now let's try. Okay, so now it's working, right? Okay, so see, you can delete now, right? You can add also. Yeah, you can add and you can delete also, right? Okay, that was the problem, but now it's working. Add and delete part is working, right? So what I will do, I will just stop here, okay? And then you guys can ask me, just practice this, right? I will load the video also, and I will put this code as well in the GitHub. Okay, but just go through, right, and try to understand and ask me. This is not difficult, okay? Just in the beginning, right, it look like it is difficult to understand, but the same thing we are doing over and over, okay? Just same stuff, right? So we still need to do a lot, right? Like update part is still pending, then local storage, then we're going to talk about the the in the create, right? If you talk about the create, read and update, delete, right? So create is what? You creating the item, correct? Adding, right? You reading here, that is the render function, reading here, render, okay? Then we have a delete, okay? And then we're gonna do the update part, right? So we have to work on update tomorrow, okay? I will stop here now.